back to my channel, or just welcome to my channel. I still am not sure what has happened in the past couple of days. Ironically enough, I edited out a part of my video that I put up on Wednesday telling you guys thank you for 900 subscribers, and somehow today, a couple days later, I now have 1,300 subscribers, and I don't really have the words other than to say thank you and to say welcome. And since I have a ton of new subscribers, I wanted to take the time to say thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell down below, and that goes for if you're old or you're new, just so you're aware of when my videos go live. Also, follow me on all my forms of social media. I'm on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, and every day I post a video, I give little sneak peeks on what the video is going to be like on one of those platforms, so make sure you're following all of them. If you haven't yet subscribed and you just happen to stumble across this channel, please do. I would love to have you as part of my family. So let's just go ahead and jump right into today's case now that I did my little rambling speech. So today's video is on Kelsie Schelling. She was a 19-year-old girl, and she lived in Denver, Colorado. And this case was sent to me via email about a month ago by a man named Lewis, who said that the mother's really trying to get the story recirculated. So if I need you guys ever, I need you guys right now. I need you to share this video, tell people about this story. We basically need to try to get this story recirculated again, because they are so incredibly close to possibly solving this case, and they just need the attention they had when this case first started. That leads me into jumping right into this case. So as I said, Kelsie Schelling lived in Denver, Colorado. She was 19 years old. She had been dating a man named Dante Lucas. So her and Dante had a really rocky relationship history. They were supposedly abusive, both to each other, verbally and physically. He was not a nice human being. He treated her terribly. And towards the end of the relationship, a lot of people said that he really didn't want to be with her. He just didn't want her to be with someone else.
He would be putting her down, calling her names, saying that she was fat and ugly and nobody else wanted her.
Which unfortunately is a very common thing seen in younger abusive relationships. So Kelsie was madly in love with him. She loved him to pieces. She wanted nothing more than for him to love her in return. So when they both decided to go different ways for college, they split up, much to the relief of all of her friends and all of her family. They were so happy she was finally out of this toxic relationship, and I cannot blame them at all. However, eventually she ended up coming back from college and moving back to Denver, and he actually lived about 2 hours away in Pueblo, Colorado, and somehow over a winter break they kind of got back together, spent a lot of time together, which ended up leading to her pregnancy.
She called me when she found out she was pregnant. She was stressed, just told her, I will support you.
So when she told her mother that she was pregnant, she was terrified but excited at the same time. As a young mother myself, I completely understand how that feels. Her mother, Laura, asked how Dante felt about it. She said that he, for a lack of better words, was extremely pissed the hell off about it. He was not happy. He wanted nothing to do with it. He had his eyes on the prize, which to him was basketball. He was like 6'7". He was a huge basketball star. He really wanted his life to revolve around basketball, so a child being introduced into that equation just didn't fit for him.
He was mad. She said he was very angry.
It was a roller coaster the next few days after she found out. He would be okay one day, and he was never happy, but he would be okay one day, and then the next he'd be infuriated and enraged and pissed and wanted to abort the baby, and it was a disaster. So on February the 4th, 2013, the day that she actually went missing, she went to a doctor's appointment early that morning to have an ultrasound. The baby was perfect and healthy, looked great, strong heartbeat, yada yada yada, all the great things you want to hear at your first prenatal appointment. And after she left, she sent a picture to Dante, Dante's mom, and her mother, Laura, ecstatic about this baby and proud to say that the baby was healthy. So Dante had been texting her that entire day saying, I've got a surprise for you. I've got something huge planned for you. I really want you to come to Pueblo. I want you to see me.
Wait and see for yourself. You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you. Tell me what it is and I'll come. Dante, come see for yourself. I know it'll put you in a better mood.
Really pushing her to come and see him, and she was hesitant at first, which makes me kind of question some things, but she kept saying, well, what is it? Why can't you just tell me? And he'd be like, no, 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 you have to see it. Like, you have to come here and see it. So her mother knew that Dante was asking her to come, but she never told her parents that she had decided on going. So that same night after work, between I think 9 and 10 p.m., she headed out for a 2-hour drive to Pueblo, Colorado to meet Dante. So the first place he asked her to meet him was at a Walmart, where she ended up, interestingly enough, sitting for about 30 minutes until she texted him, was like, yo, like, where are you? I've been sitting here. And for some reason, he decided to change the meeting place to the road that his grandmother lived off of. And I guess it was a place that they frequented, and they kind of were known to sit outside in the car and talk to each other there. So obviously she didn't question it. And so she then met him over there, where she sat for almost another hour. And the last text message that she sent to him was, I've been waiting here for over an hour. Where are you? Fortunately, after that, she was never heard from again. The next morning, she didn't arrive for work, and obviously her coworkers were a little bit concerned about that, so they decided to call her mom, call her friends, and after nobody could get in touch with her, which was completely not like her to not pick up the phone, they decided something was definitely not right. So the first person they decided to call was Dante, who reacted very bizarrely.
Not worked up, not, he just says, if I hear from her, I'll let you know.
Laura told him, we can't find Kelsie. Have you heard from her? Have you spoken to her? Have you seen her? Like, we think she's missing. And his response was, oh, okay, if I hear anything, I'll let you know. Like, super casual, not concerned in the slightest about where she was. And then he ended up calling back a few minutes later saying that Kelsie, ironically enough, right after that, had called him from a private number stating that she had lost her phone and would be contacting everyone shortly, which she never actually did. So the family ended up under interrogation in Denver, Colorado. They were sat down where the interrogators were not very nice. They immediately were like, you did this, what did you do to her, where is she? Like, pounding into this family. And then they shortly realized that she had decided to go to Pueblo that night. And so the last place she was with Dante, and that's when the entire investigation totally flipped to Dante. The microscope was like directly above him. So he had a pretty solid story when he was first interviewed by Pueblo police. He said that that night she had come over to his house, they sat in the car for a little bit, however they got into an argument and he decided to kind of take a step away from the situation. So he decided to go inside the house, and he claims she ended up sleeping outside in the car. He then claimed that that next morning on the 5th of February, she woke up pretty early and told him she did not feel good at all, so he drove her to Parkview Hospital. He claimed that she went inside Parkview by herself, which once again, I don't get why he wouldn't go with her, but it's not my place to judge that. Everyone to each their own. But she went into Parkview and came out 2 hours later and told him she was no longer pregnant. So for those of you who aren't very familiar with pregnancy, it takes a while for full miscarriages to happen and complete themselves, and just a day before, probably not even 24 hours before, she was seen by a doctor. It was an actual ultrasound, everything looked healthy. So the fact that somehow in less than 24 hours she managed to lose the baby is just not very likely. So this was already a huge red flag in his story. So he claimed that next, after this, they went to Walmart where they sat and talked for a little bit. Kelsie went and grabbed some snacks from inside Walmart. However, multiple surveillance videos completely discredit his story. So on February 5th, Dante was seen on a bank surveillance camera driving up to an ATM without Kelsie in the vehicle, which you can very clearly see. It was early in the morning, I think it was like 11:40 something, and he withdrew $400 out of Kelsie's bank account with her card. He was then seen on another surveillance video at Walmart, the same Walmart they were originally supposed to meet up at. He parked her car, and then Dante alone exited the vehicle, walked inside of Walmart, walked around the back of Walmart to the back parking lot, and was there picked up by his mother and his grandmother. And the surveillance camera obviously watched all the parking lot the rest of the night, and you just see Kelsie's car sitting there She didn't get in, she didn't get out, she wasn't in the car was empty. So where in the hell was Kelsie? On February 6th at about 7:17 in the morning, the security camera was just watching Kelsie's lone car sitting in the parking lot. It then showed a tall man in a hoodie completely covering his face walking up to the vehicle with keys, getting in the car and driving off. So they couldn't prove that this person walking up to the car the next day was Dante, but they did for sure prove that the day before it was. They said that this person had a lot of the same characteristics as Dante, but once again, proof is proof, evidence is evidence, and they could not prove that the person who left with the car was Dante. So then the last little piece of the puzzle that really narrowed everything down on Dante was when investigators decided to go to Parkview Hospital to see what had happened, because obviously they're trying to find all different reasons, all different leads as to what happened to Kelsie. And you know, a huge possibility could have been that she did lose the baby and she got extremely upset over it and left, and or you know, maybe was so upset that she ended up leaving and committing suicide. They were exploring every single possibility, and when they got there, they were immediately told that there was absolutely no record of Kelsie ever being there. She wasn't on any of the security cameras. She wasn't there. They brought Dante in for another interview, and they pounded on this guy from the start. The first thing they said when he sat down was, "So what was the money for?" And he kind of denied things at first and was like, "What do you mean? Oh, what are you talking about?" But then they were like, "You know, where was she? She wasn't at the hospital. We talked to them. We've got you on video leaving with your mother. We saw you drop her car off. We saw someone pick it up. Where is she?" And, you know, they had him in a really good place to get him to confess if he did have anything to do with it. However, this is what the Pueblo police have been really criticized for in this case. They kind of messed up completely the interview and interrogation. When you are taking criminology or you are doing any sort of criminal law, you are given an interrogation class. When you have them going on the right path, you do not derail that train no matter what. Like, you keep on going, because eventually people will crack. So for some reason or another, they then decided to ask not really an unimportant question, but one that could have let his mind go off track for just long enough to think of an escape. Because when they were interrogating him before, he was like panicking. You could see it on his face.
Like I said, like, my time frame has been messed up.
He was trying so hard to come up with another story. It was well, like he was really stuttering and falling over all of his words.
I don't even know what to say right now.
And once they gave him that little window of opportunity, he asked for a lawyer, and they pretty much lost all chances of any sort of confession if he had something to do with it. So at this point, investigators didn't really know what to do. They couldn't find her body, so the possibility of it being a suicide kind of was slim to none at that point, because usually with suicides, you're going to recover a body. They found absolutely nothing. And then a week later, they found her abandoned car at St. Mary Crown's Hospital, and they found surveillance footage and once again saw the same person that left Walmart with the car, park the car, and then exit the vehicle. The car was in a very bizarre state. There were like peanut shells all over the seats. There was stuff strewn everywhere. And some of her favorite things were missing. Her rosary beads that she always had were missing. And then her favorite tie-dye teddy bear was also gone. The last person that Kelsie was with was Dante, and he had officially shut off everyone from questioning him. He was talking to a lawyer, and there really weren't any other leads or any other possibilities knowing where she was at, because the last place she was physically seen was at work on the 4th of February. Unfortunately, someone came to her on Facebook. They do have a Facebook page set up for Kelsie, and claimed that Kelsie was still alive and that Dante had hired someone to kill her. But this person, Cliff, they called him, who was hired, decided there was a higher purpose for her, and that was selling her into sex slavery and sex trafficking. And this person claimed that they still had her, and Laura gave him a certain amount of money at a certain location at a certain time, a certain person, that she would be returned in one piece. Unfortunately, this was found to be a scam, and it's absolutely heartbreaking, because at that point, how do you decide? Like, how do you say, oh, this could be fake, but it could also bring me my daughter? So they were put through absolute hell and back. She filed a civil wrongful death lawsuit on Dante Lucas, and then also filed a suit against all of Pueblo Police Department for their inability to properly handle the case and follow more leads and investigate into it. I watched an interview where she was just bawling. She was hysterical. All she wanted was the case to be turned over to someone who would actually investigate into it. She really wanted it to be taken over by the Colorado Investigations Bureau, and I think they either almost took over it or they took over a part of it. I couldn't really find more on that, but she was just devastated because the Pueblo Police Department, according to her, did not follow through with what they should have been. However, as per usual, the Pueblo Police Department completely disagreed. They said that they covered everything they possibly could have, that there literally was just no more information to go on. The police at this point only had circumstantial evidence when it came to Dante and could not actually bring him in for further questioning or any sort of conviction because they just didn't have enough. On April 15th, 2017, police obtained a warrant to the house that the Lucas family used to live in. So the house that she supposedly went to the night of her disappearance. Dante was living with his grandmother. They said a tip led them to this house, and I don't know if it was the landlord, but I also saw that the landlord claimed when they were moving out, because they were actually evicted, there was a huge stain on their carpet that appeared to be blood, but for some reason, I don't know if he didn't tell anyone, or if the police just didn't do anything about it, but he did have the carpet ripped up, obviously replaced it with new carpet so new tenants could come in, but they ended up going to this house and excavating like all of the backyard. They told them they were searching for obviously a body. That was their intent, was to hopefully find her body. However, they did not end up finding any sign of her body, but they did find some little bits of evidence. It was said that they walked out with a bunch of little paper bags. Obviously not huge bits of evidence, but they did definitely find something, and they would not disclose what they had. Dante's grandmother came forward and said that this area had already been searched multiple times with cadaver dogs. There was nothing there. They were doing all of this for nothing, and pretty much all of Dante's family was infuriated at this point. I mean, the law here is innocent until proven guilty, so we can't say for sure whether or not he did have something to do with it. Am I suspicious? Yes, I am definitely a little bit suspicious, but innocent until proven guilty, and his family is being put through a lot. His mother finally came forward and said that she just wanted it to be over with. She said that it was years and years of just being constantly harassed, constantly attacked. Dante was constantly harassed. 2020 did a whole entire thing on this. You guys can find it, or I can link it down below. We're constantly under a microscope because nothing was really proven, but nothing was also never really disproven. She also in this interview did something that I personally find strange, but then again, I read into like everything. She said in the interview, and she actually pleaded to whoever did this to Kelsie to come forward. And the reason why I find this strange is because her son is the only person that they assumed would have done something bad to her. There was nothing really leading to anyone else having done anything to her. So it is still highly possible that she committed suicide. It is still highly possible that she just decided to disappear and start a new life because it seemed like the father of her own child wanted nothing to do with her. The theories in this case are honestly endless. You can find them absolutely everywhere. There are people who think that he did hire a hitman, that he hired someone to kill her, and that's why he kept kind of switching the location and waiting. Maybe he was second guessing himself. Maybe he, you know, realized Walmart wasn't the best place to kill somebody. I don't know. There's also a lot of people who think that since he did steal $400 out of her bank account, that he really just wanted to get money from her, so maybe he sold her into sex trafficking. There's so many different theories, so many different theories. There's theories that she realized that he wanted nothing to do with her after meeting with him that night, and that she just disappeared and he didn't know how else to handle it and panicked. There's just so many different theories, and I can't sit here and speculate as to which one it is because I've got no idea. But my main thing for sharing this case is to spread awareness. You know, I am very rarely contacted by someone asking me to help circulate a story. I am a smaller YouTuber, so I know I can't do much, but the whole reason I started this channel and what I preach to you guys all the time on these videos is that you never know. You never know who knows something. You never know what just talking about a story and spreading it can do. You just don't. You've got no idea. So What if my video were to reach just the right person in just the right way and she's reunited with her family, or they find out what happened to her if she was killed or committed suicide? You just never know. And to me, it is so worth it. How many cases have I done where they have been stagnant for years and then last minute they find something? Zeb Quinn, for instance. This reminds me so much of his case. He was last seen by someone who changed their story multiple times, and this happened years ago. I think this happened in 2000 or 2001 if I'm remembering correctly, and just this past year, the man who we thought did it the entire time was convicted. You just don't know. It's just like my Natalie Holloway video. You know, it's been years now, but they have potential new evidence that could solve the case. It's never worth giving up, and I understand that the families get tired and it's exhausting emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like, it is exhausting searching for a loved one that you want to return home so badly. So if I can do my little part and taking over to spread awareness for them because they're just tired after years of doing it, then by all means, let me do it. And that's why I need you guys so badly to share this video, tell people about this story, inform people. That's what I am here for, is to inform people and spread awareness. That's the main reason for my channel. So now more than ever, I need you guys to take action on something. I was literally directly asked to help. So please share this with whoever you can. Share it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to. Let's get people to hear about this story and maybe something will come of it. That's all I have to say for this video. I know this is kind of a long one. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you think Dante had something to do with it, if you think she was just extremely upset that he wanted nothing to do with her and she left. Do you think she committed suicide? What do you guys think happened down below? Let's have little conversations, because that's my favorite part about doing these videos, is talking to you guys about it afterwards. It means the absolute world to me. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Give me a huge thumbs up. All of my social media, I talk to you guys on there literally all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, join the family, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye! These lashes are like super intense. Pretty sure I can fly away. And taking my hair with me.